Welcome back. 9:33 in the spotlight on the North Alton Godfrey Business Council. Jeff Carver, Blake Sonka. I got it right? You got it right. Oh, my God. Normally I ruin something in an interview. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. What I like is, like you said, nothing was really frozen over today. The snow was gone before 4 a.m. That's my type of snow day. I can get up and get moving. With that being said, North Alton Godfrey Business Council and two businesses a part of it are in studio. Jeff, how's everything going at the barbecue restaurant?
Everything's going well. We got through the holidays, and so we a little bit of a slowdown right now, which we expect. So everyone's coming in using their gift certificates, and we're cleaning up the shop and kind of preparing for a busy spring.
Absolutely. And Blake, at this point in the year, I guess a lot of folks are going to start giving you some phone calls and wanting to look at some quotes, or maybe look at where the insurance was going last year, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually the end of the year is a little bit slow with the holidays. People don't want to talk about their insurance and stuff. So the New Year's usually a good time, busy. We actually just moved across the road and built a new building. So
oh, really? Where at?
That's straight across the street from where we were on Godfrey Road, just south of the
construction.
South of the plant stand. It's a white metal building with a red roof. So finishing up the parking lot in the spring when the asphalt facilities open back up. So we're getting moved in, and it's been really exciting and busy.
I've been watching your location, wondering what was going to pop up.
Yeah.
Saw it yesterday. Saw the sign.
We just got a banner yesterday and a sign mounted to the building, so a little bit
really
more visibility.
Cool.
So yeah.
How long have you been with State Farm?
So I've been with State Farm since 2016. I started with an agent in Edwardsville. We started in December 2016 and worked there for about 3.5 years. And then the Godfrey opening came open in 2019, and then we started during COVID in September 2020. So about coming up on 7 years total.
Wow.
So yeah.
And throughout the 7 years, how has just the insurance world kind of changed? Because the world's getting crazier and crazier each and every day, and I'm sure that rates go up and go down, and then State Farm, like a good neighbor, will be there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been kind of up and down. COVID was a crazy time because a lot of people weren't driving, so some rates went down with that. And then once people got back on the road, obviously even more people are driving. There's going to be more accidents and stuff, so it's been up and down, but it's been good. And I can't complain.
There you go. And what do you like your current location on Godfrey Road? Is it suiting you just fine?
Yeah, we love it on Godfrey Road. I mean, so much visibility and so much traffic going by, so I couldn't be happier with the location, and just got really lucky that the place across the street opened up. Well, one for me because it's still on Godfrey Road, and two for the customers that it's literally right across the street.
So would just be you in there as the agent, or you have other agents in there with you?
It's just me, and then I got 4 team members. And then on the north side of that building, I have 600 square feet that we're going to finish for a tenant space eventually. So it'll be a dual spot for the commercial business. So
really cool. So like office space for Lisa, somebody needs.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, speaking of traffic and just locations, I'm telling you what, the day I don't see that Carver sign right over there across in that business district, I don't know what I would do. How long have you been at that location?
Well, actually, we started in '99, so this would make our 25th year. So we're excited about that.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, everyone's always said when I got started, Carver, you need frontage, you need to be up on front, and I looked at those options, and really being tucked away in the shopping center, there was a time I was going to buy a couple other locations. But I think, being between like Steak and Shake, Quick Trip, Schnucks, at 5 o'clock on the Bell Line is chaos.
Yeah.
So traffic flow is there, visibility maybe not so much, and that's why we several years ago put money in that signage. So we're kind of tucked away, which I kind of like that. I always tell people just best kept secret. So
well, you know what I like is whenever I leave, I don't have to risk my life taking a left onto the Beltline. Keeps my insurance rates down, Blake.
Yeah, that's a nasty intersection. It really is.
And Jeff, I'm telling you this too. Every Christmas the last couple of years, we've catered to Carvers, and it has been the best situation out there. I don't know, Blake, if you've done that yet, but it's saving everybody a lot of stress. And do you do a lot of those holiday catering options?
We built the business. The first couple of years, we actually had one little table in front. We used to have the water company come in, and we would take them all the way through the building, stick them in the storeroom, and we'd laugh about someday having a dining room. So we based the company on carry out and catering, and I did the Alton Expo for like 6 years. Betsy Ann Picnic, we did all kinds of outdoor events, basically because the fact when I first got started, I was working at McDonnell Douglas, and I was working out of the house, so I was doing every little carnival picnic I could do to muster it up enough to get a brick and mortar. So
That's really cool. I had no idea about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool to see how the story's evolved to where, you are now. With Carvers.
if people would have asked me as a young man if what I would be doing in my late 50s, I wouldn't be celebrating 25 years of barbecue. You never know what, you start out in life with one thing in mind, and it sends you a different direction. So yeah,
absolutely. And Blake, getting back to working with the individual and commercial individual alike, what's it like being at State Farm to really see how everyone's story is being told? Because I'm sure in insurance you can really see where people are going in life, and if they're going to start that business trek or if their family's growing, that's got to be cool to be a part of.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm still obviously getting started and been up here for 3 years, but I had two amazing team members, Glenda and Sherry, that were there for 25 and 28 years. And just hearing the stories that they had I insured that kid when they turned 16, and now they have 3 kids, and kind of going through life with them and being there through, the first car purchase, the first house purchase, the first baby. It's really cool, especially on the business side of things too, like you said. When they're getting the quotes for the business, to see it starting up. Like I said, obviously being there 3 years, we don't have any super longevity on the business side, but we do have some businesses, and it's kind of fun to watch them grow because we do their workers' comp policies and their business insurance, so you can kind of see how they're growing and progressing. So it's pretty cool to be a part of that journey with them.
And how'd you get involved in insurance? Was that something when you were leaving college going, this is something I think fits me?
No, not at all. I graduated SIUE in 2016, and like most college kids, I was applying for jobs and kept getting told, well, we need to have more experience. And I was like, trying to get the experience with you. And then my hometown friend, actually, is 2 years older than me, Trevor Halloran, who's the agent in Edwardsville, called me and goes, hey, I got a State Farm office in Edwardsville. You want to come work for me? And that was in July, and I was just kind of sick of the job interviewing and people telling me no. So we started in December of that year, and then after about a year and a half, I was like, I really like this. I think I could want to see myself doing this long term. And then Trevor was great with me and kind of put me in the agent aspirant program and put me on the right track, and here we are.
That's so cool, man. Congratulations on that, too.
Yeah, thank you.
And with that being said, just before we take our first pause in the segment, I really think North Alton Godfrey Business Council is so unique in the sense that I like it personally because I don't have to get up and give a 5-minute elevator pitch, and everyone else does too, and then we forget about what everyone said. It's a really great way just to mingle and get to learn about our community. And do you guys kind of feel that way too, or?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, I grew up in Bloomington, Illinois, and then moved down here in 2012 for SIUE, so not being from the area, getting to meet a lot of people. I've missed the last couple meetings, but I remember the first couple that I did go to, you get to meet all the bankers, the realtors, the other small businesses, and it's a very informal setting, like you said, where you kind of just sit down at a table and everyone's got their business card and, hey, who are you? What do you do? And just being able, for me, it was awesome because I'm not originally from the area, to get to meet everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. At an early age, I ran into Zeke J. Bush, and he's been kind of a mentor. He come in and come in just as a customer, as a friend, and then I realized, he running the show, and he's such a great speaker, and shortly after the business opened, I joined the association there, and it allowed me to meet all the other business owners. Which that networking, we instantly started doing lunches and corporate events. So it's if my suggestion to anybody starting out in Godfrey is definitely jump in with both feet and be part of the organization.
Absolutely. I do want to say yesterday I got Zeke. I will say this because we were doing, who are you and what do you, and I got picked over. So when Zeke started, I said, thank you, Zeke. CJ Nacella with RiverBender, and I brought the house down. And we'll do that right after this quick break on RiverBender.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Against the wind, we were running against the wind. We were young and strong, we were running against the wind.
You know, Bob Seger always talks about against the wind. I'd rather run against the wind than to do something else against the wind. What do you guys think, you know? With that being said, windy conditions coming out this weekend, but a warm barbecue plate. Doesn't matter how cold it is outside, you're going to warm on up. And if you have a good insurance, well, you don't have to worry about anything happening to your house, right, Blake?
That's what we're there for, yeah.
So what do people look for when in terms of, you know, as the winter months come, and I know that, you know, we always hear the commercials, don't open your door for the traveling roofer company out there.
Yeah.
But in insurance, it kind of is the similar way, because I see sometimes there's giving, you know, $15 a month quotes or some ridiculously low thing that you really aren't covered for. You're just throwing money at nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously you have to do your due diligence as a consumer. Usually if it's too good to be true, it usually is. So I always tell people, you know, if we lose the price, that's going to happen sometimes, obviously, but just make sure that you're getting the same coverages and that everything's actually lined out, because if it's a very bare bones quote, then you probably have pretty bare bones coverage. So it's definitely, especially in these cold months, you know, with the freezing temperatures and wind and hail and all that stuff coming around, you want to make sure that you have the proper coverages. We're
turning my text line on today. I don't know if you guys have heard my phone going nuts. Thank you. I'll get to your text after the interview, because this is important. I love talking to local business owners, because especially in our community, you know, you aren't seeing Jeff Bezos put Amazon on the back of the Park and Rec jerseys.
No.
You aren't seeing any of that. It's folks
Amazon,
like exactly. It's folks like you that are really, you know, and whenever called upon, a lot of times, let's see if we can help. And that's what small town communities and just regions do to succeed. And that's why I love talking about, you know, prospective businesses in the council. And, you know, Jeff, as the year is just getting started for you, it's a little bit slower right now. And I'm sure, like you said, the gift card phase is in full swing. But for you, when does busy season start back up?
You know, you start to see the daffodils pop up, and little people are, you know, you're at the end of your rope come March, April, May, you know. So, when people start getting out, they've been on the couch for a couple months. Everybody's just sick of the cold, sick of the snow. And I think that's when people start getting out, hey, let's go have a nice lunch. Let's meet our friends. And then when you get into graduation is probably my busiest time of year. I didn't really know that going into the business, but graduation time, everyone's just rolling out the red carpet for their sons and daughters. You know, that's a huge time for bulk pickup at Carver's.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about that either.
Going into it, I didn't. It just happened. It's I started doing the numbers, and so we have to really start preparing for graduation.
Interesting. And Blake, is there a busy season for insurance? That's kind of fascinating too.
I would say around the beginning of the year, like you were talking about earlier, just because people are starting to review stuff, and if their policy's coming up for renewal, usually tax time's a big time too. If people are getting a tax return, they want to pay for their insurance in full, so kind of around that time. But I mean, it's something that people need year round. So I'd say the beginning to the middle of the year is usually.
What do you suggest for like a guy like myself? I've had insurance. I've been with the same insurance company for a long time. Mm-hmm. You kind of get that confidence. You get that relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, you guys are calling us, letting us know we're a day before premium's up or whatever. But like, is it a good idea to every year, every 5 years, every 3 years to kind of just, even though you're friends with your guy, I mean, is there a certain time that you think you should go out there and pursue a quote?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say, obviously a month before the renewal, just so you have adequate time to review everything.
Okay. Well, you don't want to burn bridges or offend the guy you've been with.
Right.
And you might be friends after 30 years.
Yeah,
but still.
money's
We're all looking
yeah.
at the bottom line.
Yeah.
How can we save money in 2024?
Great question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, it wasn't as pressing, but with COVID changing everything and the price of everything, especially with, labor and materials.
Increases.
As far as that, too, just coverage amounts. I mean, homeowners coverage is, I don't know if you've known anybody that's had to rebuild, but we've had a couple house fires, and the cost to rebuild is just insanely expensive for what, you'd think it would cost to rebuild a 1,800 or 2,000 square foot house. So with the changing times, I'd say every year is a
we've
good
all
time to
seen
review.
increases.
In terms of housing, does State Farm use, whenever they're working with the contractor in that rebuild phase, do they use an Xactimate or some type of software for that?
Yeah, they have an Xactimator, and then
That's what I thought.
the field
Okay.
adjuster does like a line-by-line estimate of anything, the drywall, carpet, cabinets, countertops. I mean, pretty much everything. It gets itemized.
The reason I ask is when I was in Texas, when I was doing pro wrestling, I was running the books and a lot of the business side of things for a construction company after the freeze. Remember when the power grid went out and all the houses flooded and the pipes burst? I was there dealing with that, and just seeing in 2 months how it just doubled in price and cost in terms of supplies, not even man hours at that point. Just a 2x6 was like $59 at the time in Austin.
Crazy.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And it's just being aware of those type of situations too, correct?
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, with everything changing nowadays, I'd recommend people review their policies every year before the renewal. State Farm's auto policies are 6 months. I don't know what other companies are, but before your renewal, just double check to make sure that you have everything protected. And just like I said, the cost of everything, when it was $59, try and rebuild a 2,000 square foot house for anything reasonable.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, and it's good to know, though, especially when you come on the show, that people, whenever they call, know what's going into this in case those situations, because it's that information, that you don't need to know until you need to know it.
Till it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're scrambling.
Right. Yeah.
And then just getting back to the area, I think that North Alton Godfrey, just our region and the sector, is really it's flourishing with some really cool businesses.
It's starting to boom.
Yeah. And Jeff, you've been a part of the council for, a little bit longer than Blake. How has the region, this landscape kind of changed in the last couple of decades in terms of business and maybe even growth?
Well, I don't know. I mean, definitely you see new structures going up, such as your shop. You see the car wash that's been going on for
45 years. They thought the Suez Canal took a long time down the block.
We're all wondering about that one. But yeah, I mean, we're Godfrey in particular with Mike McCormick out there, and they're giving incentives for local businesses with the tax TIF. I think that would be the terminology.
Yeah.
We all pay in a certain amount, and they're giving you a percentage to do improvements on your lot, expansions, different things. But yeah, I would say, getting through COVID was a rough time, and just the economy is just not that good. There's pretty wealthy people in Madison County, but this particular area was kind of, not doing so hot. And I feel like in maybe just even the last 24 months, 12 months, you're seeing a explosion of. You seen the dollar store come in out there, finally something there.
Yep.
You see the fire department moved down and built off that dead lot. And you see new businesses coming to Godfrey, and it's about time for that Walmart area to explode as well.
It is.
And Godfrey's a little bit cheaper getting to there, so I think people are building and working their way towards that property.
I'm glad you said that, because people throw out a lot. I think we forget that we have a major highway that cuts right across.
And what do you see everywhere? What's Edwardsville? And,
exactly.
And Jerseyville is next. Yeah.
And I'm so glad you said that, because it's like the horizon's really close. I mean, we just got to keep building and building, and it's going to come.
Yeah.
And with that being said, before we say goodbye for now, because I've already kept you for 30 minutes. I'm sorry about that. I always tell people, like 20 minutes will get you back to work, and it never happens. Blake, what's the best way? How does the process work? So let's say I'm a brand new customer, I've never called you before, I have a policy with such and such. When I call, what's the first step?
I mean, really, it's just gathering basic info. Obviously, your name, birthday, where you live, and then after that, we get the car information. A lot of stuff too. There's a previous insurer report, so we're gonna be able to see, a lot of the coverages, not everything, but pretty close to get you kind of lined up with what you have with your current company, and then just verify the details and discounts, and if we need to bundle with the home, the renters, life insurance, whatever it may be. It's a pretty simple process now. State Farm just revealed a new quoting system, so we can run a quote in about 5 minutes. I mean, obviously we want to have that in-depth conversation, but if you get somebody on the phone that's hey, what can you do for me right now? We can get you a price there.
Wow. So turnaround's pretty quick if you need it to be.
Yeah, if you need it to be. Like, obviously, we like to have that in-depth conversation and do some fact-finding to make sure that we have the right coverages for you, because everybody's different. But, I mean, if it's somebody that's on the phone that's like, you got 3 minutes, what can you do for me? We can do that, too.
Do you guys do the Airbnb insurance as well if somebody has one of those income-producing properties or something like that?
There's an endorsement for it.
Okay.
If it's strictly an Airbnb, they don't really like to get into that business just
blame
because
them.
the liability with different people in there all the time. But if it's something that you only rent out.
Kind of a new area, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll come out with a different endorsement here in the next couple of years just because Airbnb and VRBO's boomed up so big recently. But
not in St. Louis. They're not allowed anymore.
Yeah. So
corporate motels, and they don't like it.
No, they don't. It's really nice to know that, though. So when did that new quoting system come in?
January 3rd. So it's just the auto. So the homeowners and everything else is different, but for new business, started January 3rd that they've been working on for a year or two, and then they've been trying to release it, and finally it came out. So we're excited about it.
Really cool, man. And then Carver, what are your hours this month of January, February, as we get back to being warm soon?
We're back to 6 days a week.
Okay.
Monday through Saturday, 11 to 7.
And then any specials this week?
You know, I've been really pushing the brisket, so we've been
It's
doing.
good, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've got to be honest. I'm not patronizing because you're here. I called my old boss in Austin because I waited 3 hours at a certain barbecue place to be underwhelmed for brisket, and I haven't forgiven him. And I said, I waited 0 minutes and I had the best brisket as far as I'm concerned out there, and I just sent it to him. He's like, you know what? Just because we don't have what you have down there, you don't have to call me on Christmas, son. But it's good. It really is good.
Well, there's Terry Black's and there's Franklin Barbecue. They're the two that come to mind, and they're the two that are doing like over 150 briskets a day and selling out. So I thought I knew how to do brisket, and I went there with the X Games. My son was racing motorcycles about 7 years ago. So we were there at the X Games, and Franklin Barbecue came in and catered that. And I thought I knew how to cook brisket, and I did not. So anyway, so the last 7 years, just kind of studied these guys, and I think we're close,
Man, it's really cool, and I'm serious. My biggest endorsement for Carvers would be we use them for every holiday, and it's helped because we used to stay away from Blake. I don't know if you've ever done this with your parents when they cook Christmas, Jeff. If you have, I got away from the house whenever Christmas preparations were starting. It was just get out of the way. You'll get there whenever they call you. Yeah. We don't have to worry about that anymore because we got Carvers. And then, of course, if you call Blake, you won't have to worry about some ridiculous insurance rate, and you're in good hands because, like a good neighbor, Blake will be there.
That's right.
With that being said, guys, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to be a part of the North Alton Godfrey Business Council, NAGBC.com. That's NAGBC.com. And you don't have to be a business to be a part of it. Individuals can be a part of the volunteerism efforts and the beautification that the council does as well. And on that note, guys, seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break. There you go. 9:56 is the time on this 10th day of January. Yeah, that's the month. We'll take a quick break. Top of the hour news, Mississippi meanderings, and we'll see if I can get in trouble on a Wednesday morning.